the first thing that I want to talk to you about, I think is a theme throughout the book, and it's something that I personally really resonated with as a queer person, which is, I think, the unique kind of power and magic of queer relationships, because I think the experience that I resonated with, that I feel like is throughout your book, is the experience of finding, like, delving deeper into the truer and truer version of yourself in relationship to another person. And that not always meaning that you're getting closer and closer to that person, but that person is helping you get closer and closer to yourself. And I think that that's a pretty universal queer experience. I think we probably all had the like disillusion of a relationship in order to be closer to ourselves and more true to ourselves. And while there's a lot of pain and sadness in that type of experience, it's also really beautiful. And I think it's part of why so many queer exes stay friends. Like, I think there's a lot of just deep connection and love and understanding between queer people. And I see that so beautifully in many of the relationships that you bring up in your book. Some of them carry extreme pain, but also I feel that you hold such a gratitude for all of these people. And I think it's even how you talk about it in the acknowledgments at the end of the book. Such gratitude for each of these people that you've been in relationship with and to, who helped you get closer to yourself and just want to know more about your experience around that.
Sure, I think the point that you bring up is really important, because I think as gay people or queer people, we've had to, especially, you know, like I'm a little older than you are, I'm 46, and we had to kind of really invent ourselves and imagine ourselves into being, you know, and I think oftentimes we had to, because we had to put so much on the line with our relationships, you know, like committing or admitting or even being like, yes, I choose you, was such a thing that could basically rock your whole world. It could leave you familyless. It could leave you, you know, like schoolless. You know, like I went to a university in Salt Lake City, and like I know that, for example, in BYU, they would kick people out of school for being, and I'm sure they still do, for being gay. You know, and so I think that there was so much on the line that, unlike the pressure of that, would create this kind of pressure cooker in this container, which was really bittersweet and also very tragically beautiful, because it did bring this closeness with, you know, all these people that I'm so grateful for all of you. I just realized so many of you are in the room, and all of my friends, all of my lovers, all of my, you know, because truly I feel like each person has walked me a part of the way and made me possible. And sometimes they haven't even been around or seen the whole stretch of the thing, but it doesn't matter. You know what I mean? It's like that. They still, like a pearl necklace coming back to Lela, you know, they still, I still know that that's there, and I still acknowledge that, and I still feel that. I feel that leg of the journey in all of my relationships, you know, from that point on. So I feel like, I don't know, because there's so much on the line, we really, or used to be, I don't know if it feels the same to younger people. I'm sure in some ways it does, and I'm sure in some ways it doesn't, you know, because even though there's more visibility, there's still like all this like backlash, and, you know, I mean, that's a bigger conversation for sure. But I think that, there's an innate bravery that used to, you know, in saying, I choose you, I love you, and nobody else is going to understand this, and nobody else is going to care. And many people might even, like, decide to toss us to the side. That really, you know, it's like the Dirty Dancing syndrome. What I call the Dirty Dancing syndrome. If you're gonna learn the dance, you're gonna fall in love with Johnny or Baby too. You know what I mean? It's like in yoga philosophy, there's there's this little verse of the Yoga Sutras that says something like, and I'm paraphrasing, that when you work toward a common goal, love happens. Because there's nothing more energizing and more sort of like invigorating than working with someone toward a common goal. So I feel like that happens, in queer relationships. But I also think it comes with a huge amount of gratitude, and that has been my experience as well. That when they've ended, for the most part, I've always felt like I really want to try to stay friends with that person because I have such a love for the time that we've spent together.